before 9/11. Because in all their Rand Corporation public documents, they said they would use terror to destroy the Republic, to destroy our freedoms, to destroy the Bill of Rights and Constitution. And they are now pell-mell hyping 24/7 that the terrorists are about to hit everywhere. Get ready. Yeah, they're going to hit right when the banks are robbing everybody, so you'll still put your flag outside and go grovel to government and tattle on your neighbors. So much liberty that we became decadent and slovenly. And now a lot of spoiled, rotten Americans have got a rude awakening coming, and it's going to be staged terror along with financial terror because they're going to want to make you rally around the terrorist who will claim they're protecting you. So I'm telling you, you can see all the pre-scripting, just like we saw before 9/11. They're getting ready to pull the trigger, and it is going to be hellish. I want to say this again, and I'm going to your calls. They are priming everybody for domestic soft terror attacks all over the country. And they're going to hop up, drug-head white people, blacks, Muslims, you name it, claim they're linked up together. In some cases, they'll have contractors kill people. They'll shoot a patsy in the head, like Harrison Kleinbold, and say that's what happened. They're getting ready. You wonder how the government's going to get its banking raping through, how it's going to get its police state through, how they're going to get the 9% approval rating for Congress up. Look at all the Democratic operatives that have written memos to Obama saying you need a 9/11 or Oklahoma City. That will help you. I'm telling you, they're getting ready, and they're getting ready to unleash white al-Qaeda. It'll be as phony as a $3 bill, but they don't care. Only exposing the terror attacks and taking that tool away from them is going to defeat them. And they're hopping mad, people now. Every time there's a new terror attack, look around and watch and see what's happening. Our listeners caught the underwear bomber being brought on the plane by the U.S. government. And it came out to be true a month and a half later. So we're watching you murderers. The real patriots are watching and listening. And they know who to watch. They know who to watch. Private contractors. They know who to watch. The FBI. We know who to watch. The Foreign Intelligence Services, Mossad, MI6. We know who to watch. We're watching you. Don't you worry. You want to get us watching each other? We're watching you, and you don't like that, do you? You don't want people discussing that government staged terror throughout history. Your little treat, your little jig is up, murderers. Because a lot of us don't care what you do to us. We're totally committed because we know you're murderers. And we know there's no future if we don't stop you murdering, control freak, eugenics, filth. Okay.
The number one threat that they internally teach police is white Americans. And then even worse, they say, are returning veterans, conservatives, libertarians, in the fetters, people that support Ron Paul. You remember all that news. Yes, it broke at Infowars.com. Now, and the message is 100% clear. They are now migrating publicly the whole Al-Qaeda fear of the Muslim fetish, give up your rights because they're hiding under every table, to implanting a fear in Hispanics, blacks, and others that it's the man, it's whitey. You know, they're animated. It shows McVeigh. That, of course, was an ATF operation. The feds have declassified part of that. Well, they declassified one document and blacked out part of it, and then declassified the same document years later and blacked out the other part, and we got both combos together. The point is that they are totally now coming out of the shadows with the fact that Homeland Security was always for the American people, always for the economic collapse the big mega banks were engineering with the end of Glass-Steagall, the tens of trillions they've stolen. If you're not going to go along with their carbon taxes and their open borders and North American Union, they're just going to do it by executive power, just like Obama's launching wars and saying he doesn't need Congress. And again, behind the scenes saying it's white al-Qaeda, it's white al-Qaeda. I've been sent FEMA training videos, you name it. It was in Road to Tyranny back in 2002. FEMA saying George Washington's bad, Thomas Jefferson, folks that don't like the New World Order are terrorists. It's all about divide and conquer. Divide us every different way they can, and then only government can be trusted. Don't trust fellow shoppers. They're all terrorists. Only trust the DHS telescreen telling you to love Big Brother. It is off the charts insane, and this article is posted at Infowars.com and DrudgeReport.com.
43 after, the big story. They've got ads that, DHS ads that show black people and Hispanics and others seeing white people. All the terrorists are white, and it zooms in on big blue eyes, animated, glowing like glacial ice. And it's just the whites are everywhere. The whites are everywhere. They're going to get you. You know, the white al-Qaeda See, in their staged event, they're now moving on to the next phase to, okay, we don't have a Bill of Rights, we spy on you, you have no rights, we can secretly arrest citizens under the John Warren Defense Authorization Act, Enemy Commissions Act, we can fly you to places to be tortured, we can secretly execute you, Obama's continuing it. Now the next phase, they've already been beta testing, behind closed doors with the police and military, now they're moving it to white Al-Qaeda. And in this video, they cut to, and every one of them were mentally ill patsies. It's been confirmed. Even mainstream news admits, Jihad Jane and others. Blue eyes, animating the blue eyes in the video to glow. Look, blue, blue. They're Al-Qaeda. Going out in the parking garage, and he sees evil white guys getting ready to blow up the building, and he calls it in on them. And then the good white guys, the only good white guys in the whole thing, FBI, show up. And they stop the white Al-Qaeda that's just everywhere. They're creating this false perception ahead of the private contractors that run the government, staging more of terror to take over society even more. So you won't be mad about going into austerity or having your Social Security taken or everything imploding and all the money going to the offshore banks. No, no, no. And then it just cuts to white Al-Qaeda, blue-eyed women. They're going to get you. And then they mix in McVeigh. Of course, that was a staged event. They mix in all of this white. And it goes on and on and on and on. The past scripting. As Big Sis continues its relentless drive to cement the myth that mad bombers are hiding around every corner, when in reality, Americans are just as likely to be killed by lightning strikes or peanut allergies. The video is part of a Homeland Security $10 million See Something, Say Something program that encourages Americans to report suspicious activity, which in every case throughout history has been a trait of oppressive dictatorial regimes. And then now they got to have something happen, so they find a cardboard box on the side of I-35, blows out of somebody's car, an old mattress, the robot goes up every week, they shot down the highway, the helicopters, and then they blow up the thing claiming they're protecting you, but really it's to create an explosion at a Pavlovian level that was a bomb. And they have drills and blow up buses and cars unannounced and say a day later it was just a drill to create the fear. Did you hear downtown Chicago, a bus blew up today? You call your family, honey, get home. They just blew up a bus. A day later, it was a drill. Folks, I'm not just saying this for theatrics. The bankers have gang raped us financially. They're imploding the country by design. And they've set up an architecture of police state against the American people built around terror. And they have to provide that terror, as Governor Ridge admitted, to get you to politically rally around them. So they're getting ready, okay? They're getting ready to stage terror attacks and blame it on the American people. Watching it, who really believe this is real, who really believe Obama launched peace in Libya, who really believe he can do whatever he wants without Congress, who really believe George W. Bush found WMDs in Iraq. You know, 54% in major polls of American conservatives believe WMDs were found in Iraq, even though it's admitted they weren't. Though I've predicted for years they're going to roll them out later like bin Laden. I know how they work. I know how they work. If you don't wake up to these crooks that are out of control, they're not going to let you plant a garden in your front yard. Already happened. They're not going to let you have a garden in your backyard. They're not going to let you pack your child's school lunch. The federal courts have already ruled your children aren't yours. They're the state's. Don't believe me? Just search that term. These people, folks, tyranny's the norm worldwide. We got a case of it. A bad case in the 21st century, making it particularly nasty. And it being admitted, Marines coming up with guns in Maryland saying, turn your cameras off. It's all confirmed. A giant secret buildup, bigger than the Cold War, against the American people. And the government is run by criminals. They're going to stage terror attacks to get it done. Brain degenerative diseases are off the chart. Cancer's doubled the last 10 years, and so is diabetes. But everything's good. Take those shots. Eat the GMO. Do what the government tells you. Believe the television. It's so good. We'll be right back with some good Obama supporters. Good Americans. Yeah. Visit Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. When you're on the site, you can also tune in 24 hours a day to my daily radio broadcast. There's also a free iPhone app to listen to the syndicated radio show when and where you want.